Kanban is a method of managing inventory and processes. Today, we'll look at Kanban's management of processes through the example of fast food. First, what is Kanban? Kanban is a method for reducing and containing chaos in a system. It reduces wasted time by directing effort to what's immediately needed. Thus, when changes occur, they can be addressed right away without having to throw out a lot of work. Let's do a quick review of how Kanban evolved. Because foods spoil, grocery stores want to have all the food that their customers want to purchase, but not one unit more. Toyota used this as a basis of a card system that ensured their workers had all the parts they need, just as they needed them. Software developers turned the system sideways to track a process rather than an inventory. To control the chaos associated with software development, Kanban limits the work in progress rather than the stock on hand. Kanban limits the chaos in a process by limiting the amount of work in progress, allowing easy reallocation of resources, establishing flexible rules for prioritization of work, making the process transparent to workers, and addressing change immediately to limit wasted work. We're going to use Kanban to track the well-understood process of delivering fast food to illustrate how Kanban works. Kanban uses a board to track progress through the process. To develop the board, we have to know what the steps in the process are. Let's look at what happens when we order fast food. First, the food is ordered. The worker processing the order breaks it down into categories: how many fries, how many sandwiches, etc. The food is prepared. The various components are gathered together, and the order is checked for quality and completeness and given to the customer. Here's the Kanban board so far. The steps have their own column indicating what's being worked on and what's ready to go to the next step. Orders taken go onto cards that are put in the backlog. As the item is worked on, it progresses across the board. We're not quite done developing the board yet, though. What issues do we need to address yet when making the Kanban board? Kanban limits work in progress, so we need to figure out how many tasks we can do at once for each step. For fast food, the work done falls into several categories, and there can be different people specializing in each category. The person responsible for drinks often doesn't also make sandwiches, so we need to make special lanes for that work. Finally, sometimes work on food is delayed while food is cooked, so we need to find a way to handle that as well. Here's how we handle those issues. We determine the amount of work that can be done and post it for each step. We make separate lanes in the work section to handle specializations. Finally, we have a separate column to keep track of delayed items. The cards in this area don't count towards the total work for the column. Now let's take an order to see how the Kanban system works. Each of the cards in the backlog section is an order. We'll follow the progress of the gold card. In the breakout section, we separate the order into individual items and place them by the appropriate lanes. All these cards count as 1 for the purpose of maximum allowable cards in the breakout section. Once they leave the breakout section, however, they'll count as 9 rather than 1. We can only prepare 7 items at once, so we start work on 7 of the 9 items in this order. The maximum number of 7 includes both the in progress and the done columns. We don't count the cards in the tracking column. Those are for orders where we're waiting for something. We'll talk about what to do in that case later. Once the food for the order is done being prepared, it's gathered together and placed on a tray or put in a to-go bag. The items stay in the in progress section until all of the items in the order are gathered. Then they move as a group to the done column. Once the order is done being gathered, it moves into the check column, where it's checked for quality and completeness and given to the customer. We've followed a single order through the system. Now let's watch how the system handles a number of orders at once. We start with the number of orders waiting in the backlog section. 2 orders in the process of being broken out, and 3 orders, gold, green, and red, that have already been broken into their components. This gives us 5 orders in the breakout section, so we can't add any more until we've moved some to the work section. The first 7 items, 5 sandwiches and 2 fries, are started in the work section. Since work can only take 7 items, we'll have to wait until we've moved some to the gather items section before adding any more. When the 2 fries move to gather items, we can move 2 more items from the breakout section into the work section. We can break down the 2 orders in the breakout's in progress column, as it doesn't add any more orders. We still can't add any because there's still 5 colors, representing 5 orders, in the breakout section, and there will be until the gold drink moves to the work section. When the food items reach the gather section, they move so that all the items in the same order can group together. We also are down to 5 items in the work section, so we can take 2 more from the breakout's done column. When the gold drink moves to the work section, the breakout section is down to 4 colors, so we can bring in 1 more from the backlog. Once all the gold food orders reach the gather stage, they move on to the done column, and then on to the check section. Looks like the gold order is ready to be given to the customer, with the green order not far behind. We see how this works when things are going smoothly. Let's see what happens if we run out of fries. Let's see what happens in the same animation when we're out of fries. The worker gets a fry order and sees that there's no fries. They drop a basket of fries into the fryer and put the cards for the fry orders into the tracking column while we wait for the fries to cook. While they're in the tracking column, they don't count towards the limit of 7 items in the work section. Let's fast forward to when the fries are done. Ding! Fries are done. Let's slow the animation down again. The fry orders are fast-tracked to catch up with the rest of their order. There are a number of places a manager could make adjustments to make things run more smoothly. Let's take a look. Let's run through that animation again and keep an eye out for ways to make production smoother. If we prioritize the work to get parts of the same order through, we can finish a single order faster. Instead of starting on the red sandwiches, we should work on the green and gold drinks. From the beginning, there always seems to be quite a few items in breakout waiting to get into work. That tells us that the number of operations in the breakout section is too high. The work section seems to be the bottleneck here. We need to either get more workers there or bring that maximum down. Let's have the order taker help with the drinks and the salads since their breakout workload has been cut. Let's drop the limit as well. The gather items and check columns never get close to their maximums, so we'll drop them too. Here's the animation with those changes made. The same work is being done, but with lower limits. The breakout section now has a maximum of 3 instead of 5. The work has a limit of 5 instead of 7, and the gather items and check columns now have limits of 7 instead of 10. Lowering the number of jobs in the work section considerably reduces the chaos and speeds up the whole process, as the work section is no longer a bottleneck. Let's review. Kanban is a management method that can track both inventory and progress through a process. It makes processes transparent and easy for both workers and management to follow. Reducing the number of jobs being done at the same time reduces stress on workers. Kanban is flexible and allows priorities to be adjusted on an as-needed basis. This flexibility also allows for reacting to customer feedback quickly enough that the customer knows we're listening to them. Kanban makes operational bottlenecks obvious and allows management to reallocate resources to relieve them. I hope you found this presentation to be informative and enjoyable. If you'd like to see a more in-depth look at using Kanban to do software development, please look for my other talks, Preparing to Kanban, Running Kanban, and Managing Kanban. Thank you for your time.